Hey everyone, welcome back. So it turns out you can still one-shot Archons. We'll get into that in a bit. First, I want to talk about current Archon Attenuation. This is what I meant an entire year ago, that it is possible to do attenuation in a way that doesn't suck complete garbage. I'm actually pretty happy with the current state of attenuation on Archon hunts, since the vast majority of weapons can actually clear it in a reasonable time now. Anything that's considered strong usually puts them down through a phase cycle between 10 to 30 seconds of sustained firepower. Pretty apt and an okay starting point for a supposed endgame boss. However, I still have a big issue with the actual design of the combat mechanics and spawn patterns, but that's an entirely different discussion. Now, we can bring whatever we want, and if you forma it all the way up and bring buffs, you can definitely kill phases in less than 10 seconds. But here's the bigger question. Do one-shots, even if possible, really matter anymore? Isn't it better that there are many different solid options now besides being forced to use a short list of 5 weapons only? But enough of that, let's get to talking about the one-shots. If you're still here for some reason and want to do this. Personally, I don't see the point of it anymore because many other options can clear almost as fast, and a lot of the time, the length of the fight comes down to shitty animations and iframe spam, rather than the damage output of your current gun if it's good in the current state of the fight. Besides, if you miss the one shot, the fight will also get significantly longer. Titania can already shred each phase off in about 3 to 4 seconds. For most, that is enough. She once shined in Relics, Exterminates, and once again now in Archon hunts. But if you for some reason refuse to use Titania and can't stand her Razor Wing, then yes, we have another option. 2, actually, that can reliably one-shot. These are the Warframe's Quassus and Arum Spinosa. Why does it work? It's pretty simple really, for the same reasons why Kuvahek and Felarx used to work. Multishot used to exist outside the attenuation equation, meaning if you shot a ton of pellets, but each one did small damage, then they wouldn't be attenuated much. Now Multishot has been brought inside of the equation, and it now considers all pellets before lowering your damage. That's why Hek and Felarx no longer one-shot. But what about Quassus and Arum Spinosa? This is another kind of multi-shot that is currently external to the attenuation equation. Each Quassus knife is tracked separately, so just like before the changes, with Kuvahek, attenuation applies to only one knife at a time instead of treating them as a whole. You're effectively once again bypassing part of the attenuation calcs the same way as before. And why do we use Xata? Because it forces the knives to hit the head of the Archon if you proc the bubble there, which is where I aim with my new core. And that still retains a 3 times headshot multiplier. More importantly, Xata double dips headshot multipliers, meaning it will deal 9 times damage instead. Headshot multipliers are also external to the attenuation equation, so that's it. Old school multi-shot, and double dipped multipliers. Stack whatever extra buffs you want on top to make it more reliable. I'm just showing what I managed to clear with at the bare minimum. 165 strength, Arcane Fury, Vigorous Swap, because that applies to throw knives. And it's a new core primer setup for at least viral heat and radiation, but say magnetic and more would be nice. I would strongly recommend running 200 strength or higher and running encumber for even more status scaling, since I was very borderline on damage when I didn't use it. The Quassus build is generic 2 times combo heavy setup with condition overload, which does scale on contact damage, partially. But it's still more damage than Prime Pressure Point, and that's it. You walk up to the Archon, prime with new core for only half a second, so you don't screw up attenuation. Heavy attack on Quassus or Arum Spinosa, profit. Phase 2 can get annoying, especially on Boreal, but the more buffs you stack on top of what I've recommended, the easier and more consistent it becomes, and even if you miss headshots. Notice I don't have Prowl, I didn't even cast Void Strike, I don't have Roar or Eclipse. Add to the setup as you please, and obviously use any frame you want. The only thing I'd also recommend is consider bringing a Sentinel with Bulk Lock to activate Tenacious Bond for a plus 1.2 times final crit damage on Quassus throws. But really, Titania with Void Strike is comfier. You heard it here. Just because you can one-shot doesn't mean it's worth the trouble. Also, Boreal still sucks ass cheeks with iframe spam. Cheers! If this is your first time watching, feel free to leave a like or better yet subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. 79.5% of you are not subscribed. I'm trying my best to get you new information out always as soon as possible, like I did with the Dagath update, Companion Rework, and, well, I guess the Archon one-shots. Stick around if you want to see interesting memes and builds on a nearly daily basis. You don't want to miss out on any of that, do you? That'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.